My interest is children. So I know how difficult is trigonometry. I also have gone to 11th class, in which first examination I got 0 in trigonometry. Because my teacher was so horrible. You can't talk to him. He won't entertain anybody. Later, nobody taught me. I invented. Oh, trigonometry is such a wonderful subject which has got a lot of applications. Suppose you have a rocket which is going. I want to know where the rocket is. Everybody should have pen and paper. When I speak, write it down, so that when I ask after some time, I have only 2 people here, Ayush and Monali. The others who are not on video are not with me. I will ask you to show the picture. You must be able to show like this. What did you draw? I will only use words. I could also draw. I am not doing it. I must know how you are visualizing when I am speaking. That is mathematics actually. When I speak, you are able to visualize. When I say when the rocket is going, you must draw. Need not be rocket, one line, which is going up. So that means vertical. It is not a horizontal. I don't have to say vertical line. Because I said it's going up, right? So you are drawing it like this. You don't draw like this. These are all the logic. And it is not straight up. It takes a trajectory. So by now you would have to put a dot and then put another line there. Shows that it's trajectory. I know from where it is launched. So I know the distance where I am standing, where the launching happens. So that means I know the base. At any point of time, actually that is an angle which determines how it is going. So if I know the base and the angle, nobody can measure where the rocket is at a given point of time. If I know the base and the angle, I know where the rocket is. Very simple. It can be anywhere on the line somewhere. If it is vertical for the beginning, it will be in the straight line up. So I know 90 degree you take and then make that. That's why it's called right angle triangle. So trigonometry deals with right angle triangle. The angle and the base or angle and the height will give you the other portions. Otherwise in mathematics you need base and height. Base and height to determine hypotenuse. Or hypotenuse is given, height is given, base can be identified. A square plus b square is equal to r square. Or maybe s square plus h square is equal to the hypotenuse square. R is the hypotenuse because it's the radius. Now what you do is, you have a circle. Now so far it's only triangle. Now I am making a circle. And circle, this is the radius. So when I tilt like this, it becomes half circle. From the center I tilt like this. So that's what you are going to draw. A circle. And at a given point of time, the radius becomes the base. The radius becomes the base. And after some time, the hypotenuse becomes the radius. The base keep moving. In the circle, when it is horizontal like this, the base becomes radius. So you can write b is equal to r. H is equal to 0. Height is not there. But when it is tilting, say 45 degree, your base comes closer to the center. Base keeps on reducing. You can see base keeps on reducing because the hypotenuse becomes the radius. So you can write h is equal to r at 45 degree. It's a beautiful mathematics. I want you to see the picture which you are drawing. That will explain trigonometry in a different style in your life. Where no lecture, no books will tell you this. And then now, not now, after some time, it's not over. So this is the radius. the base becomes lesser and lesser as the radius gets into 90 degree. Now what has happened? The height becomes the hypotenuse or the radius. The height h, here you can write h is equal to r. Earlier it was b is equal to r. The base was radius, the hypotenuse, and that was radius. Now as it moved up, the height became the radius, that becomes the hypotenuse. So at 45 degree, you can see the base. So at every point when you draw the base, you can see it goes closer to the center. The base keeps on reducing, the height kept on increasing. The height kept on increasing. And at the end, the height becomes the hypotenuse, becomes the radius. I can take it forward like this, but let us stop at from 0 degree to 90 degree. Now you see the beauty. When the height becomes 0, now you draw a table. You draw a table below. In that first right angle, the first column angle, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 columns, or maybe 7 columns or 8 columns. You can write 8 columns. And 8 column plus 1 column for the angle, 9 columns. So the first column you write theta, or maybe angle is represented by theta. So say angle theta. So when angle is 0, what you should draw? Angle is 0. The first column you can write angle is 0. The base becomes hypotenuse. And height becomes 0. Next column. Height becomes 0. Hypotenuse is equal to base. Right? Now you write on top cos. Next column sine. Like that you can write all the trigonometric functions. Now what is sine? Sine is opposite side by hypotenuse. Opposite side is height. Because I am measuring angle here, the opposite side is height here. So height is 0. So whatever is the hypotenuse, whatever is the radius, doesn't matter. If height is 0, sine 0 becomes 0 because it's opposite side by hypotenuse. So what did you get? Sine 0 is 0. Now what is cos? Cos is base by hypotenuse. What is base here? Hypotenuse itself. Because base is equal to hypotenuse equal to radius. So what will become cos 0? 1. See, you must have learned this. Sine 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1. But where did you get this? This is how it is derived. So I am teaching you from the base derivation. Yeah. Ayush has something to ask?
Anna, the sine part that you said is not clear to me.
Sine theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. Okay, now I will tell you why is it. That is in a different style, I will tell you that. Why is it sine 0 is 0? I will tell you later. Sine is taken as opposite side. It's all with the wave. Now, as you move 45 degree. So now you got sine and cos. Sine 0 is 0. Cos 0 is 1.
1.
So what is tan? Sine by cos is tan. So tan theta becomes 0. Tan 0 becomes 0. Cot will be 1 by 0, that's infinite. Secant and cosecant, you know, it's a reverse of sine and cos. I don't have to explain it. So everything can be written. So for 0, you got the explanation. Only one you have to learn, sine 0 is 0. So as it increases now, 45 degree, let us take 45 degree. So in 45 degree what happens? This is 1, this is 1. 1 unit, 1 unit. Now let us forget about R. When it is 45 degree, the base and the height becomes equal. That is why 45 degree. If this is 45 degree, this has to be 45 degree because the other right angle is 90. The total inside a triangle is always 180. So if it's a right angle triangle, one angle is 90, other can be 60-30, but here it's 45 degree you have measured, so this also becomes 45 degree. That means opposite sides are equal because this is 45 opposite, this is 45 opposite, both has to be equal. Therefore let us take it as 1 unit and 1 unit. Therefore hypotenuse becomes root 2. So you can draw 45 degree here, say 1 here, root 2 here. So now what happens? Sin theta, sin 45 is 1 by root 2. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2 again. Tan v becomes 1 because 1 opposite by adjacent. Tan is 1. Do you have to by heart it or are you realizing and seeing in front of you? See, so simple, no? Do you have to by heart this? Not required. You are seeing it in front of you. You are seeing. In your life you will not forget this. Nobody will teach you with the angle and circle. Now it is 90 degree. Where is the height? Height is equal to hypotenuse. So what is sin theta? Height by hypotenuse 1. And what happened to base? Base went on reducing and it becomes 0. So what is cos? Cos 90 is 0. 0 by hypotenuse. That is why cos 90 is 0. You understood? Very simple. Now where do you use this? Actually 90 is good enough. You don't require further. Because it's just getting back and the minus reverse. That's why one quadrant it becomes positive, other quadrant it becomes negative. And what you can do is now you draw a sine curve. What is sine curve? From 0, suppose you have 0, from there you start the line because 0 is 0 and it goes up at 90 pi by 2. You have to write now the scale becomes pi. That's how it is written. At pi by 2, pi by 2 is 90, right? So at pi by 2, the circle goes up. So you are taking first quadrant of the circle. And next quadrant down. So at pi, again sine becomes 0. Because it's a wave. Half circle on top and the another half circle you take it bottom. That's how the wave is written. How do you draw wave? Take up at pi by 2 on the peak. Again pi it becomes 0. Again 3 pi by 2 it comes down. 2 pi it goes on to touch the line. Now this is how the value of sine and cos changes. Suppose you start from 0. Sine 0 is 0. Sine pi by 2 becomes 1. Sine pi becomes 0. 3 pi by 2 becomes minus 1 because it's down. Are you getting what I am saying? So sine 2 pi becomes 0. You have a doubt, you should ask. Otherwise the next step also will go bad. If you understood this, next step becomes easier. Are you getting? Zero, pi by 2, this will become sine 1. So this is 1 y axis. And it again psi pi it becomes 0, 3 pi by 2, etc. Now use another color or maybe dotted line to represent how do the cos line will be. At 0 angle, x-axis you are drawing angle now. Sine curve means the value of sine is what you are mapping. So you can draw the sine curve. Now you want 30 degree, you divide that into 1 by 3, you know how much value, that will be the value of 45, that will be pi by 2, 1 by root 2. You can get all that, pi by 4 will become half of that. So you know that is 1 by root 2. So every value you can map it because you are drawing the circle, the curve, that's a graph. So every point you want, what you do is you draw a line there and then find out what is the value for that. For this angle, that's the value in the y-axis. Now cos will be, at 0 you don't start it with the 0, you start it at 1 and then it goes down and it still goes down. At pi it will get the peak and then goes up, 3 pi it goes up. It will be just a reverse like this. See this dotted line which I am drawing. This will be cos curve. Now every curve in this world can be a combination of sine and cos. And this is what is used for series and functions, which is used in electrical engineering, electronics, communication. You will see when you switch on the radio, the sound goes waves like this. So I can represent the sound in sine and cos function. That is how it has to be stored. In the x-axis you can see it goes up and down like this. Whether it is only going up, you shift to the x-axis so that it goes up and down. That's it, as simple as that. Now how do I measure the angle? I said if you know the base you know because you know where is it getting launched. I know the base because I know from here it is going. How do I measure the angle? Very simple. You take a small, you can do it at home also. You want to see the height of the building in the other apartment top. You don't have to take a big rope and then measure it. From your place of standing, you measure the base and you look at the top like this through the eye, through a hole. You look at the top. Where is it? If the height is less, only this much. If it is height is more, you will have to look at like this. So look from here and this angle you can measure at your place in the base. If you are able to see through this at the top, oh, that means this is the angle. So smaller building it will be like this. The smallest building it will be like this. Finished. Do you know now I have got to measure the height of something at too far where I don't know. Now it's very simple. Now there is another method. I have got a building on the other bank of the river where I cannot cross and then measure. You know there are laser lights where I know I can measure the distance from the light intensity. I make a torch, put the light and see where it is falling. The light intensity can be measured. So I know how far the intensity will become less and less and less and less. So I keep some other meter to find out the intensity of the light and then push the light. Then the distance will be measured automatically. Laser detectors are there like that. Now what do? I know this distance, hypotenuse I know, the angle also I know. Then I can measure the base. I can measure the height. Everything is possible. So one angle and one side is given. Whether it is height or hypotenuse or base doesn't matter. One angle and one side is given. I can manipulate the whole triangle. And that method is what is trigonometry. But basic of trigonometry is not trigonometry. It is circle. It all comes with wave. Wave is half circle put in reverse side and then made a wave. So angle means always circle. 360 degree angle means you will start with the circle only. So once somebody says side O, then I can say it's always triangle. Right? Now are you able to get the picture now? Now sine and cos is given, tan, cot, cosecant, everything is simple for you. That's it. Now assume you want to prove sine square theta plus cos square theta. Now what to do is sine square theta, you should write it as a square, the hypotenuse, the height square by radius square plus base square by radius square. Radius square is equal. So a square plus b square is equal to r square. For a right angle triangle, a square plus b square is r square. So LHS is also r square, RHS is also r square, therefore 1. Therefore cos square plus sine square becomes 1. So the proof of all these trigonometric relations are based on the basic principle of how opposite side by hypotenuse, adjacent side by hypotenuse, how is it defined is what is used inside that. So trigonometric formulas proving left hand side, right hand side, how is it related, how becomes a multiple of correlations are all, everything is simple like this. Finished. Half an hour is good enough.
All of it comes from a circle.
Everything is from a circle and this concept. Even I never thought about it. I remember when I had a few students in front of me, I have to explain it in a different style. All on a sudden it came to me and I started explaining it. So it's all students and the feelings which gives me ideas. I have never read it in a book in my life. I have never seen this in a book in my life. But this is how it is.
Here now.
Good enough?
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
You have to visualize. Anything which you study, you must see in front of you.
And now trigonometry is interesting.
Every subject, which subject is not interesting, you tell me, I will make you to see them in front of you. That's my guarantee. Okay?
Okay, Anna. Thank you very much for taking us the time.
Anything more, Monali?
Please give me 1 minute. I am just
Yeah.
revising the.
Once you visualize this and then you know this is how it is, solving them is only a practice. See I don't know, you must not have got it. I have sent whoever is in contact with me, I keep sending 4:30, there is a mentoring program. I have not seen any one of you attending. I know you are all busy with the tuitions and it will spoil your life, you will end up in waste. Because you are repeating same thing what happens in the class in the tuition center, which doesn't give you any new way of thinking things. Therefore you are not able to attend anything else. Right? See, today 4:30 people from Mauritius are attending. Argentina is attending. UK is attending. And they have very specific question. So today discussion is on how to concentrate. So everybody comes with a question. What I should ask next day. Yesterday itself it was told, so tomorrow we will discuss concentration. That is how yesterday we were discussing about Srinivasa Ramanujam, creativity, how can be imaginative and all that. Once you give that message, bottom it is written, share it. Once you share it, whether somebody takes it or not is up to them. And intentionally I came 10 minutes late to ask this question. 10 minutes, what is that you have done was my question. And what do I expect? I was reading trigonometry should be the answer. I am doing something else is unacceptable and unacceptable to me, because now we are going to discuss a topic that should be what you are preparing for. So attending a class becomes an examination for you. during the time how you are reading, that way you should read when you go for classes, then you don't have to prepare for any exams. So every day you are attending class means you are preparing it. It's very simple. Okay, now look at all formula with this concept, with this understanding and that visualization, you will love it. Okay, so all the best.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you, doctor.
Sure, ma'am.
Where is it written? You show me.
Yes, sir, ma'am. It's here.
Take a picture and send it to me. Monali, my number is 944
944
74
74
37
37
948.
97.
Otherwise, on Google, go and search Dr. TPS, DrTPS.
Yes, doctor, I have searched.
Yeah, then you have my number there. Every video I have my number there. Yeah, send
Yes,
the.
doctor, but I thought that as I haven't met you, so
Yeah,
maybe
that doesn't matter. Nobody meets anybody in this world prior to their birth, right? You only, that's how we should interact. Thank
Bye,
you.
doctor.
Bye.
Thank you so much for